Hey guys. Okay, so for this video, you should be on in your binder on page 187. So pause the video if you need a second to get there. Okay, we're at the bottom of page 187. We did a problem like this on the board in class, but we're going to do another one here. So we've got this equation, a minus 2 times a plus 4 equals 0. It's like it's already been factored for us. Okay, so to solve this, all we're going to do is say, okay, a minus 2 equals 0 and a plus 4 equals 0. We get to split it up into these two equations, and then if we add 2 to both sides, we get a equals 2. If we subtract 4 from both sides in the second equation, we get a equals negative 4. And we just put the word or in between. So there are my two answers, a equals 2 or a equals negative 4. If we plugged those both in the original equation, it would make it true. Let's do it again with number 6. Again, anytime in this video, if you need a second to finish writing, just pause the video. So here for number 6, my two equations will be 2b plus 5 equals 0 and b plus 9 equals 0. Subtract 5, I get 2b equals negative 5, divide by 2, we get b equals negative 5 over 2. Or I subtract 9 in this equation, we get b equals negative 9. Put the word or in between. Because what we're doing is we're finding two possible answers. So it's one or the other are the two answers. So negative 5 over 2 or b equals negative 9. Okay, why does that work? Well, it's something called the zero product property, right? And that goes like this. If a times b equals 0, and that's multiplication, a times b equals 0, then we know that a has to be 0 or b has to be 0. So if something times something else equals 0, then we get to say either a equals 0 or b equals 0. And that makes sense, because when you multiply two things together and the answer is 0, you know one of those two things has to be 0. Okay, so finish copying this down and then flip to the next page. Alright, so basically we're trying to get to that situation. Remember in the notes we took on the board today, or yesterday, we had to first, if there was a squared term and a regular term, so in number 7 it's c squared and c, well, then what we have to do is make sure it's in standard form and equal to 0, and this one is. Okay, so here we're going to try to factor. So I'm going to zoom in on number 7 here, maybe. Let's try this. So here we go. Let's try to factor this. So I'm going to go like this. And we'll see, okay, I need to multiply to c squared, so that's c and c. I need to multiply to 28, so I have a lot of options. 1 and 28, 2 and 14, and 4 and 7. Okay, and I'm looking and I'm trying to see, okay, do any of them add to 11? 4 and 7. So I'll go 4 and 7, and I'll go plus and plus. I'll do my check line real quick. C squared plus 7c plus 4c plus 28. And that's c squared plus 11c plus 28. Okay, that works. Alright, so once we've gotten to there, so the check line is kind of just this little intermediate step just to make sure our factoring is correct. Once we're there, we will do what we just did on the previous page. So I'll split it up. C plus 4 equals 0. C plus 7 equals 0. We write our two little equations. And we get C equals negative 4. Or C equals negative 7. There's my answers. Okay. What about a problem like number 9? Let's take a look. It has an x squared and an x. Okay, it has x squared and x. So I know that I need to get it into standard form, which it is, because this goes x squared x. There's just no constant and it's equal to 0. So I look to factor. And the first thing I'm always supposed to check for with factoring is a GCF. These both have an x. So I go x times x, because x times x is x squared, gives me that, plus 2, because x times 2 gives me 2x, equals 0. Alright, and now what you have to notice with this is just because it was GCF factoring, we can still split it up the same way we split the top one up. My two factors are x, so I go x equals 0, and then I go x plus 2 equals 0. Well, x equals 0 is already done. That's just the answer, x equals 0. And then the other one, subtract 2, I get x equals negative 2, so it's OR. Okay. The last one we're going to do together is number 10. Okay, number 10. In number 10, it's not in standard form right now. So what I have to do is first subtract 21 from both sides. Some of you in your head just went 21. X squared plus 4x minus 21 equals 0. Alright, it's standard form. It's equal to 0. Those are the first two steps. And now I try to factor it. Okay, but because it's an equation, I have to keep that equals 0. So we factor. We get x and x. Alright, multiply to 21. 1 and 21, 2, no, 3 and 7. Those are my only options. To get 4x, okay, 3 and 7 are the way to go. So I'm going to go 3 and 7, and I want it to add up to positive 4x. So I'm going to want positive 7, so I get positive 7x minus 3x. So that's my factor. We'll do our check line. X squared plus 7x minus 3x minus 21. So that's x squared plus 4x minus 21. So my check line worked. We got the right factors. And now I can split it up. Once you get it into factored form, you can use the zero product property to split it up into x minus 3 equals 0 and x plus 7 equals 0 to give me the answers x equals 3 or x equals negative 7. Okay. So a couple last thoughts about this page. So maybe a hint here, because you guys are going to do the rest of these. Number 10, you're going to need a GCF. Okay. And then if you flip to the next page, number 15, we'll use a GCF. And I think that's it. Okay. So your homework for the rest of to bring into class is going to be to finish these problems up on page 188 and 189. Okay, so that's 8, 11, the second number 10 on the last page, and then 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, try those out. We'll go over them tomorrow. Thanks for watching.